Right now, millions of people around TikTok believed that a Japanese manga artist predicted one of the most iconic musicians of all time, the rap god Eminem. Marshall Mathers III, or much popularly known as Eminem from his initials, M and M, rose to fame in America and eventually in the world for being one of the best rappers in the early 2000s era. But somewhere in 1997, a Japanese manga artist drew a godlike character with slicked-back platinum hair, a smug grin, and the power to control lightning. He called him Enel. 28 years later, the internet looked at that character, looked at Eminem, and collectively lost its mind.
What?
Because somehow Oda drew Marshall Mathers before Marshall Mathers even bleached his hair. Same jawline, same smirk, same I know I'm the most powerful thing in this room energy. And it gets worse. Enel doesn't just look like him, Enel thinks he's a god who can't be touched. Sound familiar to anyone who's heard rap god? TikTok found it. Reddit ran with it. And now there's a theory going around that Oda basically predicted one of the greatest rappers alive years before he blew up. Let's break down the receipts. The hair. Enel's design slicked back, near white, almost glowing, dropped in One Piece's Skypiea arc back in the early 2000s. Eminem didn't go full platinum blonde until years later. Coincidence? The internet says no. The face. Zoom into any close-up panel of Enel mid-laugh, put it next to a paparazzi shot of him from the 2000s. People aren't just seeing a resemblance, they're seeing the same person. And this is the one that broke TikTok. Enel's whole character is a guy who thinks he's untouchable, thinks he's basically divine, thinks lesser beings can't even comprehend his power. Now go read the lyrics to Rap God, a song where Eminem raps faster than the human ear can process, calls himself the god of rap, and dares anyone to keep up. Oda wasn't just drawing a villain. Fans are convinced he drew a prophecy. So did a manga artist somehow manifest the most technically gifted rapper alive 2 decades before he peaked? Or is this just the internet doing what it does best, finding patterns in absolutely nothing? Either way, once you see it, you can't unsee it. Let's get into it. First, the timeline. Skypiea arc, where Enel is introduced, ran in Weekly Shonen Jump starting in 2001. Rap God didn't come out until 2013. That's 12 years between the drawing and the song fans say it predicted. 12 years before Eminem dropped a song where he raps over 6 words a second. Oda had already drawn a character whose entire philosophy is, I am beyond you, I am the only god in the sky. And people aren't just talking about vibes anymore, they're doing side-by-sides. Enel's default expression, that closed-eye smiling smirk, lined up frame for frame next to Eminem's own signature smirk from magazine covers and interviews. The eyebrows, the mouth shape, it's uncanny. Some fans have gone even further, pointing out Enel's alias in the story God, which is literally the word Eminem uses for himself in the chorus of the song everyone's connecting this to. Now the counter-argument, because it deserves airtime. Skeptics point out platinum blonde slicked-back villains are a manga staple that existed long before Enel and long before Eminem. Pattern recognition plus a good haircut isn't prophecy. Critics also note Oda has never once mentioned Eminem in any interview, any Q&A, any SBS column, not a single reference in over 2 decades of him answering fan questions. So this could just be coincidence dressed up as destiny. But in a corner of the internet where a manga panel and a magazine cover looked identical enough to go viral, nobody's letting the coincidence theory win without a fight. Real prediction, or the internet's favorite new pastime, finding gods in cartoons? You decide. And hey, do you agree with what the internet thinks about these 2 characters? Tell us in the comments.